Now hear the word of the Lord from Leviticus 23, 26 through 32. This is my first time reading this. Let's hope I don't get surprised. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Be careful to celebrate the Day of Atonement on the 10th day of that same month, 9 days after the Festival of Trumpets. You must observe it as an official day for holy assembly, a day to deny yourselves and present special gifts to the Lord. Do not work during the entire day, because it is the Day of Atonement, when offerings of purification are made for you, making you right with the Lord your God. All who do not deny themselves that day will be cut off from God's people. And I will destroy anyone among you who does any work on that day. You must not do any work at all. That is a permanent law for you, and it must be observed from generation to generation wherever you live. This will be a Sabbath day of complete rest for you, and on that day you must deny yourselves. This day of rest will begin at sundown on the 9th day of the month and extend until sundown of the 10th day." This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
You may be seated. Good morning, Sojourn. Peace be with you. Welcome. It's good to see you all. If you're a guest or if you're visiting with us, my name's Jonah, and I'm one of the pastors here at Sojourn. Our mission as a church is to reach people with the gospel of Jesus Christ. A gospel means good news. It's the good news of who Jesus is and what he's done for us, and then to build each other up as Jesus' church and send each other to follow him. So thanks for being here and being a part of it. A couple of quick things before we get rolling. If you are a member, we have a member meeting on Sunday, December 7th. That's right after service. I believe the technical term is potluck. Bring something. We're going to eat it together. We're going to talk about budgets. We're going to talk about next year's budget. If you want to talk about something, or if you have a question, that's a great time to come and ask it. Or if you want us to say, you can send an email or write a Connect card. We'd be happy to talk about it. Family lunch. Plan on sticking around after that. December 7th, immediately after the service. And then also, Mary Mission is still going on. That's our year-end giving campaign, where we're working with organizations here locally that are all geared towards serving vulnerable children and families. Last week, we talked about the Mary Market, which is our church has adopted a few families from, not literally adopted, but we're focusing on a handful of families from Hazelwood Elementary. And so if you'd like to learn more about how you can help either get to know those families or meet some of their needs, Jerica Smith is at a table in the lobby that you can talk with her afterwards. But the big idea here is with Mary Mission, it's one large bucket. We're trying to raise $50,000 before the end of the year. And out of this bucket, we're going to send money to organizations that we've partnered with over the years. And how did we come up with 50 grand? We took whatever we gave them last year and we just doubled it. So why'd you double it? I don't know. It feels good. Doesn't it feel good to say we doubled it? I don't know. It's arbitrary, correct. And then whatever's left at the end, we're setting aside to build new playground out there. And so, if you have like a couple $100,000 sitting around, playgrounds are expensive, we'd be happy. That'd be great. We could just knock it out and finish it. So if you want to know more about Mary Mission, you can grab one of these cards at the welcome table. On the back, it has a description of every organization we're working with and what the money we're giving them will go to. So if you'd like to help with this, you can give to the year-end fund by writing year-end giving on a check or Mary Mission on a check. If you give online, you can also hit the pull-down menu that says year-end giving. One other quick thing with giving that we've discovered in the last week, we turned a setting on where if you do automated giving online, now you can you have the option of covering the credit card service charge if you give digitally that way, which we learned this thanks to people like Deacon Ben Stocksdale and our finance team that looked at these things. But it's awesome how the number of people that give is really just quite encouraging as a church. When you add credit card transaction fees over a few hundred giving units, it's just thousands of dollars that the church ends up spending in processing fees. So you can go online to the giving portion of our website and just click the tab. I'll put an extra 2% in there if you want to do that. But that's a way to make our giving go a whole lot further. So that's that. And then next week, begins our journey through Advent. The Advent season is upon us. We'll be doing a series called The Name of the Lord from Isaiah chapter 9, these beautiful titles of Jesus. And what does that mean for who he is and the mission that he's come to fulfill? So hope this is a great time to bring a friend. And then right after this service, if you're interested in free food and spreading Christmas cheer, we are about to Christmasify the building. So Advent decorations are happening right after service. It's okay if you didn't sign up for that, but if you feel like sticking around and getting some free food and helping make this building look Christmassy and magical, someone just went, oh, you can come, you're in. There'll be a team of folks over here doing this part of the building, and then a team of folks over in the kids' wing doing that. And so hopefully you can pick it up or check it out. And if you're the Advent devotional type, we have an Advent devotional on the welcome table that you can pick up on your way out. It's exhausting. Doing all the announcements. Can I just do my sermon now? Is that okay, Ben? Okay, thank you. Y'all don't know, I'm trying to make it interesting and saying the same stuff. So anyway, if you've heard me preach more than once, you've probably heard me talk about my family, and our preferred method of vacationing is going on adventures and then piddling. Y'all know about piddling? Do I need to explain piddling? Okay, so we go someplace interesting and then we piddle, and then just piddle around all day. This has been a common experience. You go to the open air market where all the vendors are selling the things. This particular story that I'm thinking of happened in Charleston, South Carolina in July, which, just to try to put yourself there emotionally, means it's like 170 degrees and there's just people everywhere. And there's this old market where you walk down and there's booths, dudes and ladies and people just selling the things that they're making. We came across a puzzle maker. And not like a jigsaw puzzle maker, but like wood puzzles, like a cube. Have you guys seen these things? Or like a treasure box. And it looks normal enough, but then you try to open it, or the puzzle is, how do you open the thing? And it's like, how hard could this be? And the toy maker was a sadistic man, at multiple levels of difficulty. And he'd always start the passerbys on a level 1, and then he would just sit there, and he's got a fan, like an air conditioner fan misting him, while everyone is sitting there sweating and fussing, trying to unlock the thing. And you've done this maybe, where you're a little bit hot, and then you get aggravated, and it makes you even hotter, and then that makes you even more aggravated, which then makes you hotter. And this guy would watch the cycle of despair as people, adults, children, yanking, squeezing, fussing, trying to get this little wooden round cube open. We went there several times to watch. I particularly enjoyed the dads that would come and be like, come on, let me show you how to do it. And then they would just try and just so hard, and then they're cussing and fussing, and the kids are crying. And eventually, after a few minutes, the puzzle maker would lean in and smile real softly and gently, and he was saying, would you like me to show you? And then he would say, well, just put your thumb here, and then your index finger here, and squeeze real gently. There you go. And the puzzle, even the most difficult ones he showed us, the puzzles took seconds to fix, seconds to unlock, once you knew the trick. If you didn't know the trick, you would sweat and fuss and cuss for who knows how long. This is our last Sunday in Leviticus 23, and I hope you've gotten a sense of how revolutionary it is. One of the reasons it's so revolutionary for us in this moment, in this place at this time, is, I think, because of how unexpected it is. Ours is a world that values productivity and achievement. In the world of productivity and achievement, how much productivity is enough? Does anyone know? How much achievement is enough to say, we've achieved? It perpetually demands more of us. In some ways, and I don't know if this is a human thing, an American thing, a capitalist, I'm not sure what it is, but we've built our whole world around creating ladders and then trying to climb them. And then in comes Leviticus 23 that essentially says there was never meant to be any ladders at all. I really think life feels like a puzzle to us, doesn't it? We want to be loved. Yeah? Anybody? Yeah. You want to know you're loved. You want to know that you're safe. You want to be happy. Anybody else? I want to be happy. I want my life to feel consequential and meaningful. I want to be strong. I want to be successful. If you say amen to any of those things, you should know those are all really good things. Those are all God things. He made us for those things. But it seems that these things are just so elusive. I think a way to think about Leviticus chapter 23 is God leaning in with a gentle smile on his face, seeing our years of struggle and effort, toil and exhaustion, and whispering to us, would you like me to show you the trick? And so it is that here at the end of the series, we come to their largest celebration of the year. Leviticus 23 sets out God's commanded calendar for restoring our human life. What is our relationship with time? And the big party of the year is the Day of Atonement. It's the same month as the party we looked at the last 2 weeks, the Festival of the Trumpets, the month of Tishri, however you say it. Hear the introduction again. The Lord said to Moses, "Be careful to celebrate the Day of Atonement on the 10th day of that same month, 9 days after the Festival of Trumpets." 9 days after the Festival of Trumpets. We looked at that the last few weeks. If this is your first Sunday in the series, it might be helpful to go back and listen to some of these other sermons from the podcast. But I ain't so good at math. Well, I'm going to math you for a second here. Festival of Trumpets, party. A couple days later, Sabbath party. A couple days later, Day of Atonement. By my math, that's 3 parties in 10 days. 3 nationwide celebrations in 10 days. It's hilarious. Just try to imagine for a second. We're all like gearing up for a big one-day party on Thursday, Thanksgiving, and we're got a million things going on, and who's bringing what, and who's cooking what, and what's the order we're going to go in. Think about all the effort we're putting into this one meal. Now do that 3 times in 9 days. The Lord said, "You must observe it as an official day for Holy Assembly, a day to deny yourselves and present special gifts to the Lord." If you're willing to think about what you're reading with the Bible, this is very strange in light of what most of us think of when we hear phrases like deny yourself. Anybody heard that in the church before? Yeah, and this half of the room has not. I'm going to win you guys over. The phrase deny yourself is repeated 3 times in the Bible, in Leviticus 23, a few more than 3 in the Bible. When you get something repeated 3 times in a short passage, that's not a coincidence. 3 is a Bible number. It's signaling something to us. It's a big deal. Most of my life, when I've heard the phrase deny yourself in a religious context, I've understood it to mean, or it's been communicated to me, something along the lines of, if you like it, don't do it. Anybody else? Or what does it mean to deny yourself? Don't do that stuff you like. Which sometimes is easy when it's like, I really want chocolate cake. Deny yourself. Follow Jesus. What do you do when it's stuff like, I'm really lonely and I wish I had friends? Well, deny yourself. I'm so tired, I could really use a nap. Deny yourself. This is what we do, right? I think in the church we have an aversion to happiness, we have an aversion to joy, and we take deny yourself to mean, if you like it, stop it. Which, as a side note, before we get into why that's a wrong interpretation, how's that working for us? Here's a way to think about it. Imagine you come to a party. Hypothetically speaking, your 3rd party in 10 days, where the whole nation has been reorganized to have this party, and the host of the party comes to you and says, "Hey, welcome, the whole country is here. Everyone you've ever known is here. We've got all of the food, we've got the musicians, we've got the wine. This party will last 2 days, so get ready. And while you're here, don't do anything you like. Have a great time." This is not what's going on here. When you hear, whether it's the Lord Jesus or the Lord here to Moses saying things like deny yourself, it's not a command to not do what you enjoy. So be relieved for a second, but I will warn you, it is far more difficult than simply not doing what you enjoy. It's far deeper than that. But if you want to hear the Lord leaning into you, saying, would you like me to show you how to unlock this puzzle? Whatever this deny yourself means is a significant part of it. That's where you place your thumb. Deny yourself means something here. Let's try and figure out what it means. Shortly after, the Lord said to Moses, do not work during that entire day because it is the Day of Atonement. Did this passage feel at all like the Lord was just repeating himself a lot? Because 3 times he said, deny yourself, and then 3 times he said, don't work. 3 commands to deny yourself, 3 commands to not work. Deny yourself, put your thumb right here. Don't work. Put your finger here. The reasoning here, can you put that verse back up, please? Thanks, Judah. Isn't the reasoning a bit strange? Why do we not work on that day? Because it's the Day of Atonement. Atonement, kind of an old-fashioned religious Christian word. It means accounting for wrong done in relationship. It's a covenantal word, which is a way of saying a relational word. So it's making something right in a relational context. Have you ever been harmed in a relationship? Say yes, please. Yes. Have you ever harmed in a relationship? Yes. So think about that. I know, no, don't amen this part. It's mostly their fault, if we're being honest. The few times it's been my fault. Think about the few, I know it's been just so rare, but think about the time it was your fault, where you did the harm. Just sit with it for a second. You know you did it. You know you're at fault. And then there's the work of repairing the harm done in the relationship, which, if we're honest, very few ever do. The few of us who have attempted the repair in relationship. Where in your life do you make things right in a relationship? Through partying. Do no work, because this is the day you make it right. You see how strange this is? You should feel a little bit of tension. On the day you are to make things right, do no work. Where do we associate atonement, making things right, with rest and celebration? Where does our world teach us? You can make it right with them if you do nothing. Nap and celebrate. This is very strange. As far as I know, Christianity is the only place where you'll hear something like this suggested, which is perhaps an indication that we've been pulling at the puzzle all wrong. Watch how the description of the day continues. Do no work during that day, because it is the Day of Atonement, when offerings of purification are made for you, making you right with God. So, in that rare instance that you can think of the harm that was done in a relationship and it was your fault, who did that? Me. I did is the right answer. I did, right? I did. I'll tell you, if you can ever get your mind around this next point, I don't know, it's not really a point, the statement, Christianity will make no sense to you at all. Who committed the sin that broke relationship with God? We did. I did. Acceptable answers include me and or we did. My actions made the Day of Atonement necessary. My actions are what created a separation that needed atoning for. And yet, who is doing the atoning work here in Leviticus 23? Is it me? Did you see it said purification is being done for you? Someone is atoning on your behalf. You did it. Someone is fixing it for you. And what is the result of it? It makes you right with God. You do not make yourself right with God. A gift is being given to you based on the work of someone else. Does this sound familiar at all to anyone we've talked about before? Atonement happens from someone else for your benefit. If you don't see it, none of this will make any sense. It's clear as day right there in that verse. Someone else does the work, and that work that someone else does purifies you. From the beginning, God promised he would do the saving. The prophets cried out, salvation belongs to the Lord. This is Bible Sunday school time. Who rescued Israel from Egypt? The Lord did. God did. Who rescued Daniel from the lion's den? The Lord did. Who kept Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego safe in the fiery furnace? The Lord did. You know, we could do this all day. Old Testament to New. Over and over, the message is clear. God does the saving. God will save you. God will rescue you. What is the problem? Why are we so tired? We just keep trying to save ourselves. There is no message I have ever seen Christians refuse more than this. You are loved by God. Period. You are saved by grace. The very first temptation from Satan was to make Adam and Eve feel less than. Have you ever thought of this? The devil is a tricky guy. He's not dumb, and he never comes out right out front. He's very clever. And so he says to her, did God really say? So he's just not calling God a liar. He's just saying, it's just a little off. Oh, you won't die if you eat this. You'll actually become like God. What's the implication there for Adam and Eve? There's something wrong with who you are. You could be more. But, consider the temptation that Satan tried to give to Jesus. If you would just bow, it'll take a second, just bow to me. I will make the whole world worship you. You know what a big deal I'll make you? As though Jesus, the creator of all that is, was lacking something. Satan whispers to us throughout all of life, you are not enough. You don't have enough. You have not done enough. This is the puzzle box we feel all around us. Everyone, to some degree or another, inside feels as though something is missing, something is lacking. And if we just worked a little harder, if we just did a little more, that's the strategy that Satan whispers to us. Maybe if you just didn't take a day off this week. Have you thought about trying harder? Have you thought about doing more? Just cut the corner a little bit, then you'll be a big deal. And make a name for yourself. Just the stuff that we talk about all the time. Buy a little bit more. If you just lost a little more weight. If I could just get a little bit prettier. More. And thus we find ourselves in a puzzle box of endless anxiety and toil and exhaustion. And so God gives us yet another party, telling us to deny ourselves and stop working. Do you hear what he's saying yet? Beloved son, beloved daughter, this strategy of yours is not working. All of this striving, all of this work is not the way to restore relationship with me. This was never the plan. To deny yourself in the Bible means to stop trying to save yourself. Or to put it a little bit differently, it's to suggest that you don't know how to be you so good. To deny yourself means to stop believing you need to do more. Stop believing you are not enough. And I will tell you, it's not enough to say these words. We are very good at words in this evangelical Christian tradition of ours. It's just not enough to acknowledge the truthfulness of certain words. So a way to think about it, if you knew you were enough, if you knew it all didn't have to get done, if you knew you had nothing to prove and no one to impress, and if you knew that were true of you for a whole entire day, what would you do? What would you do? I wish I'd done a better job throughout this series of letting you all know I know we're different. There is no one perfect holy prescription of how we do this. Some of us have limitations. I know that I'm loud and silly and extroverted, and I'm not trying to say to be holy means to be loud and silly and extroverted. If you boil all of it down, if you knew you were loved, you knew you were enough, you knew you were saved, I think every one of us in some form or fashion would respond in two ways. I think for most of us right now, in the rhythm of our lives, we would rest. What does that mean for you? I'm not exactly sure what you do for rest. But if the pressure was off of you and you knew you were loved and enough, I mean, can you imagine the deep breaths that we would take? And once we had caught our breath and settled in a little bit, can you imagine how we would celebrate? The things that we would do that make our hearts beat fast, that fill us with gratitude and joy and make us grateful to be alive. Whatever that would look like for us, whatever a true and free celebration would look like for you. I know some of us can't get loud, and that's okay, so long as the response is true and genuine and from the heart. If we knew we were loved and we knew we were enough, we would deny ourselves the impulse to prove ourselves. We would deny ourselves of the strategy to try and make a name for ourselves. We would rest in God's love, and in some way that was honest and true, we would celebrate. And perhaps, if you're like, I want to believe, help my unbelief. I want to believe these things about me. How do I believe them? If the words are not enough, what would I do? Well, if you believed them and you would rest and celebrate, any guesses one of the best ways you can begin to believe them? Rest and celebrate. Sometimes you got to ask yourself, what would I do if I believed this was true? And whatever you decide might be the thing you need to go do. See the rhythm. I'm going to give you the whole sermon series here in a minute. This is the calendar the God of time has given to us. This is how the God of time has ordered our days to get the deepest truths of life into our bones, to whisper to us how to unlock the puzzle box of our life. Begins with this: throw a party to enjoy God. How often? I don't know. How about every week? A weekly Sabbath. Then throw a party to remember that you're saved at the festival of Passover. Who did the saving? God did the saving. Throw a party to enjoy God. Why would we enjoy God? Because we're saved. Festival of the first fruits. I'm not so sure if God's going to show up. Throw a party to remember God provides for you. The festival of the harvest. Who provides for us? God provides for us. Throw a party to enjoy God. Why would we enjoy God? Because we're saved. Festival of trumpets. Throw a party to remember you are saved. Who did the saving? God did. The Day of Atonement. Throw a party to enjoy God. Festival of booths. Wherever we go, He's with us. Enjoy, remember, celebrate. Enjoy, remember, celebrate. Celebrate, remember, enjoy. Remember, enjoy, celebrate. This was what their whole life was built around. And these sacred rhythms carried the expectant people of God into the time of Jesus, who after the festival of the Passover, do you realize what's going on in the scriptures? At the festival of the Passover, while the priests are taking a lamb to be slaughtered, Pilate and the Romans are taking Jesus to be crucified. See what is going on. He was taken as a sacrificial lamb. On the Day of Atonement, he had our sins placed upon his shoulders. Maybe you remember this glorious reality from our series in the book of Romans just a short while ago. Paul ties all of these threads together for us when he said, God presented Jesus as the sacrifice for sin, which means not you. I wish I could explain it to you. Not you. Jesus. You're off the hook. God presented Jesus as the sacrifice for sin. People are made right with God when they believe that Jesus sacrificed his life. Not when I got the promotion. Not when my mutual fund hit a certain amount. Not when I finally got married. Not when I had the kids. When are they made right with God? When they believe that Jesus sacrificed his life, shedding his blood. Can we boast then? Can we boast then that we have done anything to be accepted by God? No. No, because our acquittal is not based on obeying the law. It's based on faith. So we are made right with God through faith and not by obeying the law. The game is over. The puzzle is opened. If you are tired and if you don't know how to have fun, if you're worn out from life and all of your striving, let me whisper to you the secret to unlocking the puzzle. You do not have to earn your way back to God because Jesus did it for you. You do not have to prove you are lovable to the world because Jesus proves it for you. You do not have to make a name for yourself or climb any ladders because Jesus brings you all the way home. And can you guess how we might practice what it means to be loved like this? To be accepted like this and to be fully saved? I think in this American life we might just do something really crazy, like deny ourselves and stop working so much. Maybe we would rest and we would celebrate. Gosh, can you imagine? We might take a whole day. We might even do it a couple of times a year to stop, remember we are loved, and remember what Christ has done for us. And I think that would move us to celebrate. We might deny ourselves all the ways we manage our images. Aren't you tired? We might deny ourselves of all the ways we manage our persona, all the ways we try to avoid pain. We might deny ourselves, and we might take the risk of believing that we're free, that atonement has been made. This is really all I want to say to you. We are saved because we're loved. The God of time has oriented all of reality to try to tell you this. You are saved because you are loved. We spend so much time and effort hoping to be loved. And I think some of you are aware that all that effort just typically makes us only feel less. And so the God of time bends low and whispers to us and shows us the trick. Oh, you're saved because you're loved already. So may we be a people who can stop and rest and delight in the Lord who delights in us. If you're willing and able, stand with me and we'll pray together.